everyone, and welcome. You're listening to a special, and this one's brought to you by Erie Realty. We're right here with you in the Metro Atlanta real estate market. At Erie, we're really passionate about helping everyone find their place in this great community. Today, we're going to tackle something really important, especially if you're thinking about buying or selling a home around here. Fair housing. You've probably heard the term thrown around, but what does it, really mean for you? In your journey here in Metro Atlanta, we're going to break it down what it is, what protections you have, and honestly, why it matters so much. And to help us unpack all this, we have an expert with us today who really gets the ins and outs of these regulations right here in our area. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. It's definitely a crucial topic.
Absolutely. So let's just jump right in. Fair housing. In plain English, what are we talking about?
Well, basically, it boils down to equal opportunity.
Hmm.
Everyone should have the same chance to, buy, rent, or live in a home. It's not just a guideline or a nice thought. It's actually the law.
The law.
Yeah. The idea is that decisions about housing, buying, selling, renting should be based on, well, objective market factors, price, qualifications, things like that, not on personal biases about who someone is.
Okay, that makes sense. Who someone is. Let's dig into that. What specific things are legally protected? What characteristics?
Right. So under federal law, there's a list of protected characteristics. These include race, color, national origin, like where you or your family came from,
Okay.
religion, sex, and that definitely includes sexual orientation and gender identity. Now, familial status.
Familial status, so like whether you have kids or not.
Exactly. Families with children are protected. And also disability, physical or mental.
Gotcha. Race, color, origin, religion, sex, kids, disability. That's quite a list.
It is. And it's important to remember that here in Metro Atlanta, or even at the state level in Georgia, there might sometimes be additional local protections too. But those federal ones are the baseline everywhere.
And the core idea is you can't be discriminated against based on any of those things in a housing transaction.
Precisely. It can't be a factor in the decision to sell, rent, or even negotiate with you.
Okay, so let's make this practical. If I'm looking to buy a house, say, somewhere in the Metro Atlanta area, how does this affect me directly?
Well, as a buyer, you have the absolute right to professional service from any real estate agent, free from discrimination based on those characteristics we just listed.
So my agent should just focus on my budget and what I need in a house.
Exactly. Their job is to help you find suitable options based on your criteria, what you can afford, the size you need, the location features you want, not based on their assumptions or biases. They absolutely cannot engage in steering.
Steering, what's that?
Steering is when an agent tries to guide you toward certain neighborhoods or maybe away from others based on, say, your race or because you have children or any protected factor. That's illegal.
Wow. Okay, so they should show me everything that fits my actual requirements anywhere I'm interested in looking.
That's the standard, yes. Their service should be based on your needs and finances, period.
Okay, super important for buyers. Now, flip side. What if I'm selling my home in Metro Atlanta? How does fair housing apply then?
Good question. Sellers are also part of this equation. You, as a seller, first off, you're also protected from discrimination if someone tries that on you, but you also have responsibilities. Your agent, acting on your behalf, must operate within fair housing laws. Meaning they need to present all legitimate offers to you fairly without any kind of bias filtering them.
So they can't just ignore an offer because they don't like something about the buyer that's protected.
Absolutely not. They also can't discriminate in how your property is marketed or shown. Like they can't put up ads that discourage certain groups or refuse to show the house to qualified buyers because of a protected characteristic.
Okay, so it cuts both ways. Fair treatment for buyers looking and fair practices by sellers and their agents.
Exactly. It maintains an open and, fair market.
You mentioned agents several times. What's the specific role of real estate professionals, maybe particularly realtors, in upholding this?
Right, so all real estate licensees have a legal duty to follow fair housing laws. But realtors, who are members of the National Association of Realtors, are held to an even stricter code of ethics.
Ah, the Code of Ethics. I've heard of that.
Yes, and that code explicitly includes and reinforces fair housing principles. It puts a really strong emphasis on treating all parties honestly and fairly. It's a cornerstone of their professional responsibility.
So they have both a legal and an ethical obligation here.
Definitely. They're trained on this, and they're expected to be guides for both buyers and sellers in navigating these rules ethically.
Okay. Now, the unfortunate part, What if someone listening, maybe someone here in our Metro Atlanta community, feels like they have faced housing discrimination? What should they do?
That's a really important point. If you believe you've been discriminated against, maybe you were denied housing or treated differently, there are avenues to take action. The primary federal agency is the Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD.
HUD, okay.
You can file a complaint directly with HUD. They investigate these claims. There are usually time limits, so it's important not to wait too long if you suspect something.
Are there local options too? Here in Georgia?
Yes, often there are state or local fair housing organizations or human rights commissions that can also help. They might work with HUD or have their own processes. Doing a quick search for Fair Housing Georgia or your specific county could point you to resources.
Good to know there are places to turn.
Definitely. Knowing your rights is the first step, and knowing where to report potential violations is the next.
So, wrapping this part up, what's the big takeaway here? Why is understanding and, upholding fair housing so vital for us in Metro Atlanta?
I think the key takeaway is that fair housing isn't just about compliance, it's about building the kind of community we want to live in. When everyone has a fair shot at finding a home they love and can afford, it makes Metro Atlanta stronger, more diverse, and more vibrant. It really benefits everyone, not just those directly protected, by creating a healthier, more equitable market and, frankly, a better place to live.
That's a great way to put it. A stronger, more vibrant community for all of us. And I want to echo that commitment here at Erie Realty. We serve the entire Metro Atlanta area, and fair, ethical practices are absolutely central to everything we do. It's non-negotiable for us. If you have any questions at all about buying, selling, the market, or maybe something we touched on today, please feel free to reach out. Our team is ready to help. You can call Erie Realty at 678-775-8108. Again, that's 678-775-8108. We're here to help you navigate the Metro Atlanta market with real integrity and expertise. So as we finish up, maybe something to think about, considering these protections we've discussed, what kind of truly inclusive community can we keep building together right here in Metro Atlanta? Thanks so much for joining us for this important deep dive today.